Hi everyone, welcome to my fitness drive. I'm TJ, your personal trainer in training, and today we are going to talk about motivation. So let's get right to it. So why motivation? Well, over the last 2 weeks, I've kind of been struggling with it, and it's not just a me thing. Whether it's working multiple jobs, maintaining a family, or being heavily involved in the community, many of us have a number of obligations that we have to meet in today's inflated and demanding world. And with so much to do against such little time, it's understandable why millions of us worldwide struggle with motivating ourselves to do anything more than just the bare minimum. Now, that apathetic feeling to perform any activity, whether that's wholeheartedly or at all, the word for that is called amotivation. So how do we address that? Well, I think the first thing we need to do is understand exactly what motivation is. A simple Google search of the word online shows us that motivation is actually two things. One is the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. The other thing motivation is a general desire or willingness of someone to do something. Now, that's interesting because while it shows us motivation is both of those things, it shows us that reason and desire are two completely different things. All right, so using myself as an example, outside of anything fitness related, I have 2 office jobs, both of which that offer great traveling incentives to their most diligent employees. So that incentive is my reason to do my very best when I'm at work. Now, on the other hand, anything exercise related comes from both a desire and a reason to do them. So I desire to exercise because I find it fun and enjoyable, especially when I'm boxing with my coach or when I'm jump roping at that park and catching the beach breeze. Those are things that I look forward to, and I will make the time to do them. My reason to exercise is for my health. Many of you don't know, but years ago, I was diagnosed with disseminated coccidioidomycosis. Basically, it's the premium subscription to Valley Fever, one that has a potentially fatal termination clause. So yeah, that wasn't a fun experience. But thankfully, the man upstairs was able to waive that for me once I sought to cancel my membership. And I give all thanks to him for that. And yes, I do believe. Now, that whole ordeal is a years-long story for another time. Just know that experience really plays into my reason for exercise, which again is for health. And while motivation can stem from either a reason or desire, now, while motivation can stem from a reason or desire, there are 2 different types of motivation: intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is when someone engages in an activity for the sense of satisfaction or to feel good about themselves. So remember how earlier when I said that I like to exercise because I find it both fun and enjoyable? That's intrinsic motivation. I exercise because of the sense of satisfaction it gives me after I exercise. Extrinsic motivation is the opposite. So people often will engage in activities or behaviors for recognition or for reward. So a great example is like, let's say I'm looking to run a marathon to get a challenge trophy or a challenge medal, right? So that's a reward, and I'm doing the marathon for the purpose of obtaining that reward. Or I might train harder with my coach just so that at the end of the session, I can get kudos from him. That recognition is what will push me to exercise harder with my coach. Both of those are great examples of extrinsic motivation with satisfaction coming from either reward or recognition. Another thing about motivation is that it often changes as we progress down our lives. So using exercise for an example, When I'm 20, I might exercise because I want to look good to people. I want to look like a snack and be appealing to the eye to people. So that might be my motivation when I'm 20, and that recognition that I'm seeking from others would be extrinsic in nature. I'm seeking the recognition from other people to motivate me to exercise. Now, in my 40s, that might change. Maybe I'm now exercising because I want to maintain my health and my overall well-being, but I still want to look good for my age. I want to be one of those guys that people see and say, whoa, at 40 you look really good for your age. So my motivation might slightly alter to being both intrinsic and extrinsic in nature, because intrinsically I'm seeking satisfaction for my own health, but extrinsically I still want people to look at me as looking good for my age. Now, let's say I'm in my 60s. And my motivation to exercise might be more intrinsic in nature because I'm more focused on my health, not necessarily how much I look and what others perceive me as. I just want to feel healthy. Maybe I want to live longer so that way I can see the next generation of my family. And the only way that I'm going to do that is if I take care of myself. So my motivation to exercise will change as I get older. Now, those examples aren't cookie cutter for everyone. Everybody's got their reasons and desires behind their motivation, but it's, for most people, motivation is going to change and adapt as you progress in your life. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but what if you struggle with motivating yourself? Well, we all go through that. And there are 4 different types of social support that we can seek from others that might help us stay motivated. One of those, being probably the most well-known, is emotional support. But we also have companionship support, we have instrumental support, and we also have informational support. So let's take a look at the 4 different types of support that we can seek from others socially. Emotional support. Emotional support is encouragement through positive reinforcement, and it's from one person to another. So when we actively listen to someone to understand their positioning, that is serving as emotional support. So let's say we see someone on their grind, and we're cheering them on from the sidelines, we're giving them words of encouragement, we're really in their corner. We're essentially being a cheerleader and a guidance counselor for the person emotionally, even if we can't physically be there. That is emotional support, really rooting somebody on. Now, companionship support is when somebody engages in an activity or behavior with an individual. Now, you will see companionship support quite often when it comes to exercising. You might see 2 people working out together so that way they can stay accountable, so that they can keep each other accountable and consistent, motivating each other throughout the entire process. So yeah, you'll see companionship support pretty commonly in the exercising world. Let's say I wanted to skydive, but I'm on the fence. Maybe I'm like, it's, the thought of jumping from a plane is nerve-wracking. I want to try it, but maybe not alone. Maybe if I had somebody else to do it with me, I'd go for it. So let's say I find somebody and that person says, yeah, I'll go with you. And I'm like, okay, now I feel more encouraged and compelled to do so because I have somebody there with me. I don't have to go it alone, and I'll feel more at ease when I have somebody who is more energetic about doing it to go with me. So that's companionship support, when you are serving as the support for somebody else, or they are serving as a support for you, when otherwise either one of you might not be compelled to do it alone. The next type of social support is instrumental support. Now, instrumental support is a little less known, but it is not uncommon. In fact, instrumental support happens every single day with every single one of us. Instrumental support is when our actions directly influence the behavior of someone else. So a great example of instrumental support, let's say you have a good friend and you want to go exercise, but you don't have anybody to watch the kid, and your friend offers. Your friend's like, you know what, don't worry, I got you. I'll watch your kids while you go exercise. The action of your friend watching your children while you exercise, that's instrumental support. They might not be there encouraging you at the gym, but they know what your goal is, and they know that this is a limitation that you have, and to kind of help support your goal, they're willing to take some of that burden from you to free up your time. That is instrumental support. Another great example, let's say, you and I are friends and you want to try your hand at jump rope, but you're like, I don't have a jump rope. Well, here, you can borrow my jump rope. The act of me loaning you my jump rope will allow you to actually start jump roping. So I'm supporting your goal by giving you the means to do so. So that is instrumental support, when our direct actions influence someone's behavior, again, directly, okay? Now, the last type of support is informational support. And this is when we provide sound advice or current, relevant, and accurate information to someone else to help them achieve optimal results. So let's say, for example, we have a friend of ours who wants to lose weight, and they're looking to get some information from us on how to achieve losing weight. Well, we can provide them something factual, we can provide them with something that's common sense, and provide them something that comes from our experience. So here's something factual. Drinking 64 to 128 ounces of water a day, every day, can assist you in achieving weight loss by helping you feel fuller, therefore reducing the sensation of hunger and the need to snack. Common sense. Increasing your water intake alone will not help you lose weight. You will also need to incorporate exercise, and you will need to consider maybe getting on a meal plan or changing your diet. Experience. It's been my experience that running anywhere between 1 to 3 miles a day, 5 times a week, will help overall tone your body and help you lose weight. But if running's not necessarily your thing, then it's also been my experience that shorter, higher intensity sessions of jump rope, maybe 30-minute sessions, 3 to 4 times a week, will achieve similar results. Either one you choose, you're going to build endurance, which will help you go longer and at higher intensities, which again will help you lose weight. So those are the 4 different types of social support. And in wrapping up our conversation about motivation and social support, have a think about what it takes for you to be motivated. What's your reason? What's your desire? What kind of social support do you need to stay motivated? Or maybe how you can be support to somebody else for them to stay motivated. Because we all need it. We all go through it. Now, for myself, it doesn't take me much to get motivated to exercise or to do boxing or jump roping. Those things I find enjoyable. So there's not much that it takes for me to feel like I need to be motivated. But with YouTube and social media, inherently I'm not on social media often, but this is a new venture, this is a new challenge, and that's what drives me. The fact that I can provide information to an audience is what drives me. It is a lot of hard work to find the time to edit, to find the time to record, to find the time to script, post, especially when you have 2 jobs. It's time consuming, but you have to find your motivation to keep going. So I just wanted to share this with you all, and I hope that this video was somewhat helpful for anyone struggling with a motivation. Hopefully this video provided you with some information about what motivation is and what types of support there are out there to help you stay on track, or how you can be a support again to someone else. Again, it's not just a me thing, and we'll all get through whatever we're dealing with together. And if all else fails, try music. Music definitely has a way of altering a mood and to get you feeling a certain kind of way. I can tell you right now, Technotronics, Shake That Body will get me out of a funk 98% of the time. Doesn't matter what kind of day I'm having, the second that song comes on, I'm pumped to do whatever I need to do. So give music a try. If nothing else in this video helped you, give that a try. And in speaking of helping, I would really appreciate it if you consider dropping a like, sharing the video, and subscribing. I would, again, really appreciate that. But until then, stay safe, be active, and I will catch you next time on My Fitness Drive.